Shana Tova, everybody. Welcome to the Israel Brief, brought to you by Lay of the Land and hosted by myself, Rolene Marks. Now, if you wondered where we were these past couple of days, never fear, we haven't forgotten about you. We most certainly do love you very, very much. However, we go off air every time there is a Jewish holiday, and it has just been the Jewish holiday of Rosh Hashanah, the New Year, which started on Monday night. So we were busy with preparations and observations for that. But we're back, and albeit with a one-day broadcast this week, but there are a lot of Jewish holidays coming up, so keep an eye out for when we pop up. But a lot has been happening over the last couple of days, so let's get your updates. And all of Israel has been worried and intrigued by news that 6 Palestinian security prisoners managed to break out of Gilboa prison in the north of the country. This was reported on Sunday. Now, a massive manhunt is underway for these very, very dangerous criminals, several of which have been sentenced to life because of carrying out attacks or with links to terror groups such as Palestinian Islamic Jihad. Now, details are not that well known. As you can well understand, this is an ongoing investigation, so what we do know will be information that has been made available for press consumption. But what we do know is that police suspect the possibility of 2 prison services staff who may be aided or abetted or knew of the possible escape, and they will be questioned under caution sometime today. The IDF have deployed hundreds of troops in search of the suspects and have also arrested members of their family who may have information as to the whereabouts of these escaped convicts. Meanwhile, the head of prison services, Katie Perry, has been urged to step down. However, there are many who have said that we have to make a difference between who bears responsibility, which prison services may certainly do, or between who is necessarily guilty. So we will continue to follow the story and will bring you the updates as they are made public. Our next story takes us to Afghanistan, or what is now known as the Islamic Caliphate, or Islamic Emirate rather, of Afghanistan. A little bit of a Freudian slip there. But a Taliban spokesperson said last night that the Taliban is willing to have relations with all countries, including the United States, however, not with Israel. Somehow we think Israel will cope. Meanwhile, reports come out daily about the treatment of Afghan nationals as well as foreigners at the hand of the Taliban. They announced just last night that any women's sports will be banned, and as far as we understand, both the women's soccer team and another female sports team have been managed to be evacuated safely. I24 News earlier today reporting that Israel was involved in some way with evacuations. While we doubt that Israel was landing planes, we do know that perhaps Israeli aid organizations could have helped with the repatriation of evacuees to places like the United Emirates and Canada. And if we have any more information about that, we will most certainly update you. Yesterday, the Norwegian ambassador to Afghanistan tweeted out that his embassy was under Taliban control, and while the Taliban said they will be handing the embassy back to the Norwegians, they did manage to smash all bottles of wine and destroy any children's books. And of course, we are watching with absolute horror the daily stories coming in of the treatment of the Afghan people, especially the women and young girls. In other news, we've all been following the procedures or what's been happening with Ben & Jerry's, and I can tell you that the U.S. state of Arizona has become the first U.S. state to formally divest their pension funds from Ben & Jerry's. The Treasury of Arizona State, Kimberly Yee, sent a letter to Ben & Jerry's and their holding company, Unilever, saying they will be divesting all of their massive pension fund from the companies, citing concerns for the anti-Semitic decision to boycott Israel. They see it as a boycott of the whole of Israel, which is the same as what Israelis and the Israeli government see it as well. And they say that they are allies to the state of Israel. We have strong ties, and in order to support Israel, they will no longer be supporting Ben & Jerry's. And our final story of the day takes us to the upcoming Durban conference, which is the 20th anniversary of the UN Conference on Racism. And this marks the almost 2 decades old descent into anti-Semitic chaos that the original conference became. Now, 4 more countries have joined the ever-growing list of those that are boycotting the upcoming conference for fears that it will again descend into absolute anti-Semitic chaos and an Israel-bashing session. These countries include Croatia, Cyprus, Italy, and New Zealand. This brings a total of 16 countries now formally boycotting the upcoming conference, and we hope that that list will grow to include other countries. A lot of us are looking at countries like Switzerland, Belgium, Ireland to see if they will join the list of boycotters. So those are your top stories while we were away eating copious amounts of food and praying for everyone to have a safe, a healthy, a joyful, and of course a prosperous new year. And in the meantime, if you're looking for something to do, please don't hesitate to check out our website at www.layoftheland.online, our Facebook page at Lottel Site. Please give us a like or a follow, join our community if you haven't already, and share our content. We know that a lot of our content is held back or censored by Facebook, so if you see us, please share us. And we're on YouTube as well. Our channel is called The Israel Brief. And please like, share, and subscribe by clicking on the big red subscribe button. And we're also on Twitter, where you can find us at Lay of the Land 5. That's at Lay of the Land with the digit 5. I'm Rolene Marks, and before we wish you a Shabbat Shalom, we just want to point out that on Saturday, the 11th of September, it marks 20 years since the horrendous terror attacks on US soil, and Lay of the Land honors the memory of all who perished on that awful day, as well as the many who perished as a result of sicknesses or illnesses that they got from inhaling the smoke or helping with search and rescue attempts to find any form of survivors or any remains. We honor the first responders. So many of them paid the ultimate price. To the families, to the survivors, to the friends of those who lost so many on September the 11th, our thoughts and our prayers are with you and with all of the American people. May their memories forever be blessed. On behalf of Lay of the Land and the Israel Brief, I'm Rolene Marks, wishing you all a safe and healthy weekend. Shabbat Shalom, and we will most definitely see you on Monday.